Hello all, welcome to oratrainings.com. In this session, we'll discuss about the BI busting concept of Oracle Cloud ERP BI report, and which is used for the purpose of sending the output to different multiple delivery channels. Okay, let us get into outline. We'll try to understand busting and busting sample with single file, busting sample with multiple files. So before considering about the busting, let us understand when to use busting. So generally, busting is preferred when you want to send the report output to a different delivery channel at runtime. And the next one is when you want to send the report to a particular template. I mean, nothing but you want to select the template dynamically at runtime based on certain business rules. Nothing but let us say, based on a business unit, you want to select a report a template A, and based on the business unit, you want to select a particular different template. And how next thing is where do you set up the busting option? Okay, nothing but the busting definition. So the basic thing now we have understood that is like when to use busting. So busting is used when you want to send the output to a different delivery channel, or you want to select a template dynamically at runtime. Okay. Now let us understand what is busting and what is the way we can configure busting on the template. I mean on the like the BI report definition. So busting process is a process of splitting the document based on the key which you define at the busting, and based on the splitted document, you can mention to which delivery channel you want to go. You based on the like splitted document, you can mention to which delivery channel you want to send the report output. So that is what it mentioned here. It is a process splitting data into blocks, generating documents for each block. So generally, if you observe at the BI report level, whatever the BI report which you define, now here if you observe in my case, let me open one of the samples. So at the data model level in a particular BI report, at the query, you may have a single query and multiple query. But when you run the report, all the listed queries here will be executed, okay? And then you'll see the output, nothing but generally in a single file. But when you have a busting defined at the BI level, so here if you see the busting definition, right? So now let us say in this case, I'll just click on email channel. Here if you observe, for whatever the output which got generated from particular data model queries, what will happen is once the output is generated, this particular busting definition, nothing but the busting query will get applied at runtime. So here if you observe, I mentioned data source ds slash g1 slash key, right? So here I mentioned the key as my main component of splitting the document. So here if you observe my query q1, the query behind this particular data model query is, so I just mentioned XX as key, nothing but for all the records in this particular sample, you'll see only single key, nothing but the unique key for all the records, nothing but overall the report, the unique value for all of them is just a XX, nothing but the key value is same for all the records, I mean to say. Now what will happen is if you're trying to group it, or nothing but if you're trying to split the data based on the key, what will happen? You'll get only one particular output, nothing but only one particular block. So for the generated single block, the bursting definition will get applied. So that is what the concept is all about. If you have a different kind of key, then like your particular report will be generated into multiple files. So that is what the sample of single or multi will be discussed in later time. Okay. Now, so that is how the data will get like a splitted. And not only splitting, so you have some set of other properties which you have to consider when you are defining your busting. So first thing is split by, delivery by, and the delivery query. So this delivery query will have the information about like what are the parameters which are required to be mentioned for a particular delivery channel. Nothing but let us assume that let us say if you want to send the report output an email. So email requires from address, to address, subject, message. Let us say if you want to send the output to the FTP, you require like the FTP location, the file name, and what is the format you want to send it, right? And for either of them, like if it is an email or SFTP or anything printer, so generally you require some set of properties to be defined. So for each particular delivery channel, you will have a different set of parameters you have to mention. Okay, so for every busting definition, when you consider, so you have these are the key important properties. The first one is like how do you want to split the document, what is the template you want to mention, what is the language you need to consider, and what is the output format you want to consider for your report. So as of now, BI supports all these particular formats like HTML, PDF, zipped format, nothing but you'll have a zip file. Inside zip file, you'll have all the PDF documents. Okay, you'll have, as of now, it supports only PDF zipped. PDF, RTF, Excel, HTML, MHTML, PPT, RTF, CSV, eText, many other formats it supports. Now, so these are some of the delivery channels which busting supports. So here if you observe, when you click on administration section of your BI report, you can see this particular set of delivery channels which are supported. I have provided some set of parameters for a specific set of delivery channels. As of now, I provided only for email as well as FTP or SFTP. So here if you observe carefully, the parameters which you mentioned for which you mentioned for a particular delivery channel differs. So you have to be very careful in selecting delivery channel as well as mentioning the parameters respective to that particular delivery channel. Okay. Now, so based on the delivery channel which you choose, as I already mentioned, that you'll have a different set of parameters. In my example here, if you observe, for the SFTP purpose, you will have these kind of things. Like this is the first one is a key, and the next one is a template name, which you mentioned when you are uploading a template to your particular report. And the next one is the your like a language, the output format, the delivery channel, and the output file name. The next thing is the specific parameters which are specific to a particular delivery channel. In this case, the parameter one is nothing but the BI name which you mentioned for the in the administration section of your FTP, the location of your particular FTP, and the report file name which you want to mention, and the true is for the purpose of sending whether you want to send the PDF, the specific output file to the FTP or not, some sort of things. Similarly, for the email purpose, you have the from address, to address, subject, all these things. Here, if you observe, the first set of 5 parameters or 4 parameters which are same for each and every delivery channel. Nothing but the key, template, local, output format, and delivery channel. These are very important for all the delivery channels. Now, let us understand how do we generate a single file bursting. I mean, how do we define a report bursting a single file? Okay, by registering an ESS job. So here, if you observe, assume that you have defined a report and it has a bursting query, which you are splitting the data based on a particular key, which generates only single file. Okay. Now, once all the bursting definition are ready, you can just simply register the report. And the important property when you have to consider when you are defining a bursting report is this particular one, the bursting report. This has to be selected only when this is selected, then only your bursting definition which you mentioned at the report, the data model level will be executed. Remaining or just as it is what you generally consider. Now, in my case, I just ran a report, and here if you observe, how do you validate whether your report is sent to a particular delivery channel or not? So once you run the report, on the output section, you can just expand your output section, and you can clearly see the delivery information, whether it reached the particular delivery or not. It clearly mentioned the status also. If the status is failure, damn sure that it is wrong, like nothing but it is not getting delivered. If it is generally success, it means that 100% is delivered. For email, generally it is success, right? Generally, you will not have the like a recipient success kind of thing. Delivery successful kind of response you may not have in the email purpose. But if it is a SFTP or a printer, if it is the report, if the SFTP or the printer is not reachable, obviously you'll get the status message not delivered or error kind of thing. This is for the purpose of sending the report, a single file to the specific delivery channel. So let me run the report and you can see the output. Supplier bursting report. So the major logic is in the bursting logic. The remaining report logic is just a simple one only. I just click on submit. So here, once you just refresh, click on the report and just observe this one. Okay, click on the output section. It is still running. Yeah, completed. Expand this one. Yeah, now here you can clearly observe the delivery information, right? Split by the delivery one, delivery information, and status. That's it. Okay. Now let us see how do we split the document. Nothing but how do you send the report? How do you generate multiple files using bursting concept? So the only key important part in generating multiple files is the split by option. So here, if you observe, I mentioned select HP.party number as key. So, and the data model query is this one. So the data model query is select HP.party number as key. Nothing but the HZ part is party number. So nothing but this is a supplier report which is displaying the party number. So party number is unique for each supplier number, right? So I just want to generate a unique report for each party number. So that is why I want to split the data based on the party number. So in this particular example, I'll get multiple records. So and for each particular party number, I want to have a separate report. Then I just mentioned split by this particular key. Okay. So now the report, once the query is executed, it will be split based on the party number. Okay. Now here, if you observe, when I run the report, you'll get multiple set of records. Each will have a unique set of output. So let me run the multiple sample also. Supplier multi-files bursting. Click on OK, submit. Okay. Yep, it got succeeded. Just click on this one. Now he should see multiple files now, right? So here, if you observe, I got 62 records, rows 1 of 62, right? Okay. And here, if you observe any of the record, just click on republish and just see that it will have the information of only one particular party or supplier. Can you see? We just have only one record because we have splitted the information based on the party number. Okay, this is how we can have a multiple files information. One more important thing. Now, let us say you have defined your particular report, but you want to validate your delivery channel is working fine or not. So it is not always good advice to register the report and validate the output, right? So other way, what we can try to do is, let us say you have the delivery channel information registered. So to register any delivery channel, nothing but especially when you want to register any like SFTP delivery channel, what you do is you have to click on administration, click on FTP, and here in the FTP, just click on add server. You mention your SFTP name and the host address, port address. This is server name. Whatever the server name which you mention here, this is what you have to mention in the SFTP information which I was providing you, right? Like this one. So whatever the parameter one of the SFTP. So whatever the server name, whatever the server name you mentioned, this name you have to mention in the parameter one of the BI busting definition. Now, one more thing I want to show is like let us say you want to validate whether the delivery channel which is provided here is reachable from your Fusion or not. What we can do is, of course, you can register the ESL job and you can do it. That's a tedious process. Let us say your report is having good amount of parameters, but still you don't have to register it, right? Initially, you want to validate whether your busting works or whether your particular delivery channel is working or fine or not. You can just simply validate it like this. You can just click on a new report job and you just select the report. Select any report. It doesn't matter whether it has a busting or not because it will not validate your busting now at this point of time. So I'll just select the output as PDF and just click on destination. I'll just mention the email address here. Test message. I mentioned some job name. Okay, click on submit. Now, when the job is submitted, you can see whether the email is working fine or not. Similarly, if you want to find out you want to add up to the particular different email server, also still you can do it. You can just mention that destination. You can mention like a different set of servers also you can mention. Okay. Now, if you see here, the first one, right? So this is how the output looks like. So I have this is the output which I received from my busting. I'll just open this one, right? This is how it looks like to the email address. So this is all about the busting a single file, multi-file, as well as how do you run a job from the BI report. Okay.